Ich glaube eben, die Fragen kommen hier rüber, also Ton. Die fanden es vielleicht so jetzt als nur die Lautsprecher.
Okay.
Mikrofon. So, und jetzt. Das finde ich blöd. Das ist wie bei dir am. Nicht noch hier irgendwo. Also eigentlich muss sie immer nach links. Der Screen ist quasi rechts.
Hi.
Hi.
Ich weiß gar nicht, Isabel hat mir irgendwie geschrieben, ich soll ihr noch die PowerPoint schicken. Ich hätte sonst einfach per Screen geshared. Ich weiß nicht, was.
Ja, das kannst du auch machen.
Also was euch lieber ist. Also ich meine, wenn ich ins share, dann kann ich es halt selber klicken. Ansonsten
Ja, machst du.
klicken.
Ja. Das wäre am besten, wenn du das klicken würdest. Hi, I'm the chair.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Was muss ich machen?
Ja. Die Leute zusammen, was ich mache, ich einfach bezeichnen. Genau, also es geht einfach, ich sage 5 Minuten Präsentation, 5 Minuten Präsentation und 5 Minuten Diskussion. Okay, also nach 4 Minuten lässt du das nicht? Ja, genau. Genau. Wenn es noch mehr als 5 Minuten ist, dann halte ich es so. Okay. Also geil, Robert. Hast du es mitbekommen? 5 Minuten Präsentation.
Ja.
Ich kann jetzt leider die Karte nicht hochhalten, weil du siehst mich nicht. Also schaust du, dass du es im Blickfeld behältst. Die Zeit.
Die Zeit, ja, alles passt, alles gut. Ich lege mir eine UI hin. Ich versuche mal kurz einmal meinen Bildschirm frei zu gehen. Ah, ne, die anderen, ihr könnt jetzt.
Ja, es geht jetzt wahrscheinlich nicht, aber ich gebe es
Okay,
nachher.
aber sollte klappen.
Ja, sollte.
Okay, perfekt.
Okay.
Okay, are we good to start or? Yeah, okay. So I'm going to start the next session and I'm going to welcome you all to this short oral presentation session. My name is Laura Zam. I'm from School of Pharmacy, University College Cork, and I have the honor of introducing our four speakers this afternoon. Okay, somewhere it's an afternoon. And so the first speaker is Ms. Bettina Stalder, and she is going to speak to us on behalf of her group on the development of a new mHealth app for the monitoring of medication adherence. So take it away, Bettina.
So imagine that you are going to make a new study about medication adherence. Which monitoring methods are you going to choose? That was the question which Isabel had, and she started the development of a new mHealth app for monitoring medication adherence. So first, we had a look on different Play Stores, for example, Google Play Store and Apple Store, and we searched some already existing apps. And then we have not found one app which required our needed function. That happened also to the British researchers. They have found in 2050 5,888 medication apps, and they tested 600 apps. 420 apps were for free, but the most dramatic part was that only in 557 apps there was the healthcare professional part of the development group. So we started we want a new medication adherence app which shouldn't be a medical device. Central parts of this app should be the recording of medication intake, a visualization over the time of the medication intake, calculation of appealing metrics, and the easy consumer to healthcare provider data and so on. How did we make that? It was easy. It was learning by doing. But we did a little bit of literature search, a pragmatic search. For example, we have found the paper from Nedeker, which helped us to ask or to answer all the questions which we needed to decide how our product is going to look like. So we have now a prototype which is called BCB. And here on the left side, you can see the screen in which you can add the medication or the details about the medication. Important information are the name of the medication, the regularity, and the point of time of the intake. Based on that, you will get in a different screen, the medication plan. You will get an overview of all the medication which the patient has to take. Based on this information, you will get a different screen, a daily plan, an overview of all the medication which the patient has to take, and it also shows us on which time point of the day the patient has to take it. There is the opportunity to confirm your medication, and it will appear in the data screen in this graphic. You can see the patient has on the weekends the weekend. The data screen also allows the export via email to export the data to a healthcare professionals. First, testing has shown that usability is excellent and that the functionality is as well quite good with 100% sensitivity and specificity. So that was my presentation, and I'm glad to answer your questions.
Very much, Bettina. If anybody has a question, please let me know. Can you please also say your name and where you come from? That would really help our guests here today. Thank you.
I'm so comfortable. I think
Yes.
We certain information about the events. Yeah.
So,
The pharmacist already to various information to insert information about the name of the medicine.
so the patient will decide on his or her own to add the medication. He can say TikTok or something like that. It's not a requirement that it has to be the official name of the medication.
So I can remember 500 milligrams 1 version.
Yes.
Second question. More. How do you measure what's the method behind one special? I think because that we know that we would grab medicine, how do you get those information?
Oh, no, sorry, I forgot to mention it. If you're clicking on this checkbox, then the app will make an date and timestamp, and this will be local stored on the app or on the smartphone, and then the smartphone will ask and the local storage to put these points in there, so you don't have.
I get the notifications and they are the links directly. The notification and search the ads.
Yes, but there is no reminder.
So that's my attention. The preparation is how do you
The usability, we had two different groups. One group were volunteers and one group were patients, real patients. Some of the volunteers also took medication, but not everybody. And then we determined that the usability is from channel group. And there you have a score from 0 to 100. And there are some adjectives combined with the score, and we get a score of 80, I think, and that equals the adjective excellent. Yes. So, and we made also different comparison with different apps and softwares with the UEQ. It's from Switzerland and from Germany. It's also a validated questionnaire, and there you can compare your app with different apps. And there it was also a good usability. There was a good usability. Yes. You have to wait.
Okay, I think we have time for one more question. If anybody would like to ask something like away in Portugal. That's okay. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't like the question, but no, we'll make it up. Thank you, Bettina. So, how is it able to be shared with somebody? So, can users, for example, can download it to read software or answer software? To share it out with somebody. Now it's only shareable with an email, or so you can export the articles and with the time and articles, yeah, email and then the healthcare professional, for example, gets in like an Excel list with and he can show it, and then he can also make a graph or something like that. So we share with carers, for example, they can so it's not like for example, that the healthcare professional has a different application and directly show it, but for example, you can also go to the drugstore, to the pharmacy, and show it, so we can see the.
Okay, thank you very much.
Ja, ist schon.
Okay. Wunderbar. Dann haben wir, sorry, now we have our next speaker, Anne-Helen Jacobson, who is going to talk to us about her group and the work that they've done on the development of quality indicators for community pharmacies, a qualitative study. Thank you.
Yeah, the note. Yes, just a second, please. This is silence doing two things at once. I think it should work. Try it. Oh, yeah. Yes. Hi, my name is Anne-Helen Jacobsen, and I'm coming from the Artist University of Norway, up in Far North. And I'm doing my PhD with the IPSEM Research Group, and I'm here to present my projects, development of quality indicators for community pharmacies, a qualitative study. So, quality indicators are widely used to measure and improve quality in healthcare. And several measuring points are needed to measure to get this quality covered, or to cover the multi-dimension of quality. There are structure, procedures, and outcomes that have to be measured to cover the all-over quality. Community pharmacies in Norway have no such common quality indicators. And we need to involve stakeholders in the development on the early, and stakeholders involvement has been really low in the early stages of the development. Our study aimed to develop quality indicators for these community pharmacies. And, oh, sorry. Our aim is to develop these indicators for community pharmacies. And in the process of this development, we have done a focus group interview study. And we have interviewed pharmacy managers, pharmacy technician, and pharmacy customers, and a pilot study. So, and we also did a thematic analysis of the results, and this resulted in 4 main themes: communication, information, customer satisfaction, and working environment. So the ability to communicate in the pharmacy and the pharmacy use are vital. And sorry. And to rehearse these skills are important, and they're discussed in all the groups. But also relational aspects are important for the customers and between the customers and the pharmacy staff. Language has also been a barrier in the pharmacy, and the pharmacy, both within the pharmacy, but also between customers and pharmacy workers. Information was the second theme that came up. There's an expectation that the pharmacies should provide good quality and standardized information. But this information also has to be individualized, adjusted to be considered as beneficial in pharmacy. The amount of information also came up as a topic. Pharmacy, when information was both too little and too much information was regarded as poor quality of the pharmacy service. Customer satisfaction. Good knowledge of product was a topic that was discussed quite frequently in the group. Both knowledge about drugs, but also the product that the pharmacy sells. Waiting time was important for some customers, and this was an issue that was talked a lot about, and also is something that is measured already in Norway. And travel distance was also important, but both waiting time and travel distance didn't really mean much to the customer if the service they got was really good. Working environment. Management was regarded really important. Staffing, the amount of staff and the composition of staff was also important. And time pressure and workload was also an aspect that was regarded as to be negative for the pharmacy service. So what's my next? We are going to do a Delphi process with the developed quality indicators and taking quality indicators from literature. And from that, we hope to get a comprehensive set of quality indicators for testing in pharmacies. Thank you.
That's a really interesting study. Could I ask you at what point you decided you didn't need to have any more interviews, or that you had everything covered?
I don't think we get to the point that we got everything covered, because this is just a study that we use to create a list of topics for what is important in measuring of the quality. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Have I any questions from your audience here at the back, please?
I am Federico. I am in Minnesota, and I have a follow-up question about the saturation. How many people did you interview, and how many focus groups did you do?
We did 5 focus and we did and there were competition focus groups. We found and I interviewed them we talked. And there were approximately 5 to 6.
So we can't again. I think we can get into that microphone to scan and remember and maybe question I don't know. But very was more associated with me.
Because this is quality indicators for all the quality of the pharmacy. You're not trying to know how many days It is also the quality of the product, what kind of service will be involved on community part. Because also we have a discussion about qualifications or we call it customers. But many of the people coming into finance are not Christian, they are customers. They are like so we learn from part of the research. But we are not measuring, we are measuring the.
So it's a question here.
I have a number of these things. Did I understand right that you didn't identify the costs and services before the integration so you have not defined the costs and services that you are planning the indicators for?
No, we didn't evaluate it. And we Microsoft because we didn't have time in my project. Good. And also this is the start of the development of the policy indicators. And this is also regarding to the dynamics of the indicators, but this is not the final aspect of the indicator study. So it's just the beginning of the development.
So what's your future vision, how the indicators will be then in place? Will be collecting the data and how it will be utilized?
After this project, the development project, and we have a comprehensive second. Hopefully, we will develop a tool, maybe use their quality, that they can easily collect the data and see their own development over time, but also can use and on. Hopefully, we get that far.
Okay. We all questions? If so, I think then we will thank you again. So now I would like to introduce our third speaker, Dr. Paul Dillon, who's representing a lot of speakers, one of them RCSI, another one Truro College Pharmacy, and also Faculty of Health Sciences in USA, factorial survey methodology to inform pharmacy adherence interventions, comparison of two international studies. So, thank you very much.
Thanks for the introduction, and I was not pronouncing that title. It's a mouthful. So yeah, hi everyone. This is introduced Paul Dillon. Very happy to be here back on my original pharmacy. And the work I'm presenting today relates to my PhD, which I finished 4 years ago. And then it's following to that I started to scholar to the US, and then that's was just published in the last 3 months. So really today we're going to design probably very well surveys and how it could be useful for pharmacists to develop services. And in particular, maybe in my PhD, but really interested in looking at what's here to pharmacists. How could intervene to improve adherence in older age pharmacists? Very specific patient group. Well, in trying to do that, what are the barriers for pharmacists to actually do that work? So the factorial survey is saying that policy is currently method that's really to understand why different types of people make decisions for their behaviors in terms of healthcare. It can be really useful to understand what is driving these decisions. So to break down what this involves, factorial survey, so kind of actually characterized in the present factorial vignettes. So vignettes, you might know, are these scenarios across statistically patient has of these criteria and what you do. What makes it different in other factorial vignettes? So you have a standardized scenario. Within that, you have a number of factors that you think are important to support the decision that healthcare professionals are making. So then you randomly assign all the factors, and then you randomly then it creates this called universe units. Applying the number of units and factors is created to 1 billion factors. Then randomly assign them to different respondents, and from that you can make a causal determination of what factors are influencing the decision. So kind of the best way I would say make this easier for people to understand. It's like what Facebook experiments and other experiments on all of our behavior online. So we apply this methodology firstly driven by PhDs analysis, and it's just our class to take artists or what we're really good at is how do you what are the buyers, what are the facilitators of monitoring materials how to use the artists. So probably it's just a lot like time already. So this round of the race is kind of headline to the methodology survey. So the actual behavior investigating is actually a monitoring. However, it's between survey or panel assessment intention. What we see here in blue is the theory of human behavior, which headlines that there are 3 determinants of behavioral intention, behavioral beliefs, non-behavioral beliefs, and control beliefs. What we did in the survey, we measured everything in the white. So in terms of beliefs, we looked at pharmacists' efficacies, how we convert to monitor adherence, monitor beliefs, and their treatment beliefs. We then looked at this with potential bias. What is happening within pharmacists and most influence their attention to it. And so within the vignette factors, looking at contactable factors, just we put it on the slides, all of the intelligence, well common oxygen vignette, in red, are the lab factors, potential effects, pharmacy. Items and the bottom is example. I won't go into this in much detail, but essentially you could form a regression model and you have to take which factors determine the response to questions. Questions were how well do you examine Smith's records in rate capping, how do you use patient by appearance, and one particular topic that I was recommending medications. And what we saw that there was a number of contextual factors, actually quite a lot of pharmacist factors. Pharmacist beliefs were quite significant in predicting whether they were difference. So just quick takeaways, this is a really useful tool to start your interventions. And one of the biggest takeaways you go to the streets was that actually what was primary in pharmacists medical people is actually their own pharmacist beliefs. You see in the graph, a lot of pharmacists people are in competition with their organizations. This potentially could be the start changing development. And many of the final takeaways, even though we pretty much replicates methodology across 2 settings, we saw differences. And that's really highlighted when we're looking at the different setting, really need to intervention. We really welcome building on this methodology to scientific assessment. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Paul. Have a question from the back here?
Thank you very much. Samuel from here at the University of Basel. Very interesting. I really like those technical science choice experiments type of things. I have a very practical question about the tool we use to populate different scenarios. Do you do that beforehand and then feed it in, or is it a specific tool that you use necessarily?
And then we need and so the first time we want to get she by learning this. So usually then watching to later it's over. So the part is journal and spaces. For the second survey of others, the ones they use politics automation performance serves.
Thank you.
Well, I have a question, and it relates to the fact that you spoke about doing something over. So culture is starting breakfast. So I was just interested in what were the differences in your findings between the US and Ireland, briefly.
Yeah, so maybe the biggest takeaway was when we look at the modeling itself, I think variance in adherence monitoring was like natural factor versus pharmacist factors. And what we saw in the US was actually pharmacists own beliefs, around whether they thought it was important, whether they needed to do it, or whether they had the vaccines to determine that more often than in Ireland. And so that was quite interesting that perhaps this is sort of people or else very much parts training in Ireland and really focused on communication skills. And I can't actually generalize this cost and I'm not familiar with more training with the purpose to be able to communicate training because to two sides.
Do you think it could also have to do with perhaps my experience in the US of the very ancient psychology, the generalization, but certainly in Ireland, the push has been to get pharmacy from the back of the pharmacy to the front of the pharmacy, and many US pharmacies have been to the struggle to find the pharmacy, but there's one around there. And again, it's generalization, but I was wondering, do you think that would then do it?
Absolutely, all of those sort of things, changing not measuring certainly was absolutely.
Thank you for the stuff. I'm just wondering if what was this standardized or was it left open? So any against monitoring was.
So the top row to say what I just specified what it was, then we measured it was in response to the scenario, a lot of people are in 1 to 2,000 sensing artworks, experience, and having another question, hearing expression, and then thirdly was about medication use,
Did you see differences? Which one was the third one?
It's on the scales. Here, a lot of people were down to the first question, third, obviously the third equals 0 the case one.
And you know that it's only one different.
What purely evolved very very
Well, you the behavior, so I know that you want these people and talk about behaviors and attitudes, so really
Yeah, we immensely questions the situational, and so I'm struggling to remember the US specifically in Ireland very much. Would your local general practitioner be monitoring your patient adherence, which varies before would not be the same in the US. So for sure we recommend the next a lot of the questions of the norms.
Thank you very much. Okay, and yeah, he broke it. Okay. Robert, are you there?
Hi, everybody.
Okay, great. Can you share your screen?
Yeah, you should see my first slide.
Okay, so I would like to introduce Robert Mokler. who is presenting his work with his collaborators from Heidelberg University Hospital in the Cooperation Unit of Clinical Pharmacy. And the topic that Robert is going to speak about today is exploring patient participation in an interprofessional medication management program in primary care. Thank you, Robert.
Yeah, thank you for the nice introduction. So let's jump right into it. You probably all know that medication reviews can have positive clinical outcomes and positive humanistic and economic outcomes. And what we asked ourselves was, do patients perceive medication review programs as beneficial? So what we did is we polled patients who participated in an interprofessional medication management program called AMIN, which is a medication safety initiative in Saxony and Thuringia in Germany, which was launched in 2016. And in this medication management program, there were 165 general practitioners and 243 community pharmacies providing medication management for roughly 4,800 patients. So what we did is a cross-sectional study in two federal states in Germany, and we used a piloted multi-part questionnaire, which comprised questions about patients' motivation for participation, their perceived benefits, and also about suggestions for improvement. We used single and multiple choice and Likert scale questions. All patients were contacted, and data collection took place between December 2020 and April 21. Our response rate was pretty good, about 50% responded. The patient population is about 73 years old and 52% of them are female. So what are the major reasons for participating in the AMIN project, like a medication management program? Reason number one was my doctor recommended the project to me, and number 2 and 3 is I wanted my doctor and pharmacist to know all my medications. I wanted to have my medications checked whether they're comfortable. Interestingly, for 24% of the patients, the only reason for participation was the doctor's recommendation. We also asked, did you have a benefit regarding your medication from participating in the AMIN project? And about 1/3 said, yes, well, we had a benefit. Another third said, no, but we were already satisfied before, so probably there was not much space for improvement. And another third said either no, or we cannot tell, we don't know whether we had a benefit. And we also asked, would you participate in the AMIN project again, or like a medication management program? And 58% said yes, 27% were undecided, and only 11% said no. And if we take a closer look, which patients gave which answers, we see that 48% of those patients who would participate again also stated that they had a benefit, while only 10 to 14% who said they were rather undecided or would not participate again had a benefit. And next step, we also asked, for those who would participate again, what are reasons for participating again? And for the other, like who are undecided and who would not participate again, what needs to be improved? So top reasons for participating again is like having a review of their medication, getting additional care, and to being more confident with managing and administering their medication. For those who said undecided or no, the number one reason was or they said it would have to be better explained what benefits I can expect and get from such a project. And reason number 2, I should be able to have a greater benefit or a benefit at all from such a project. So to wrap this up, as a GP's recommendation was the most common reason for patients' participation, GP's buy-in seems essential for patient recruitment. Patients' intrinsic motivation for participation could be improved, for example, by using more comprehensive information campaigns, and projects' potential benefits should be highlighted more clearly when recruiting patients. And last but not least, patients having experienced a benefit might also influence if they participate in such a project again. Of course, there are some limitations. There might be other reasons which influence participation, and there's a potential recall bias due to when the program started in 2016 and the data collection in 2020. Thank you for your attention. I'm happy to take any question. If you have any question, please walk up to the desk, because I think the mic which is connected to the Zoom meeting is on the desk, and the sound is pretty distorted if you use the other mic.
Okay, message received. Thank you very much, Robert.
I have a question, Robert.
Yeah.
So could you answer your question research? So you showed on the first slide the question,
Yes.
which was on 2 lines.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the answer to your question?
Well, we could go some slides back. I mean, there are some patients who think or who perceive that medication management programs are beneficial. And of course, there are others, or there are other patients who think that they're not beneficial. So we could probably say that for most of the patients, there is a benefit, or they felt or perceived a benefit. But there are also other patients, I think like about 1/3, who say, nope, there's no benefit. And I think that's like a potential for improvement. How can we get to those patients, and how can those patients maybe be encouraged to participate in such a program again?
Thank you. Just before I go to the next question, can I ask, how did you standardize the medication review for the patients? How did you achieve that?
What do you mean by like how the medication review was standardized? Do you mean like the procedure of conducting the medication review itself?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So first of all, the external evaluation, like our project, like started when the medication review program was already rolled out. So it started 2016, and this project itself was launched by the Chambers of Pharmacy there, and they have kind of a how do you say, like a guide how to conduct and provide the medication management. And they also stated like which task, like checking interactions and checking application times or administering times, who checks that? Is it like the GP, or is it like a community pharmacist? And there's also kind of a division of tasks.
Okay.
So it was stated up front.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to hand over now. You have a question? I think it's better if you come down here. Can you hear it? Okay, I'll repeat. Okay, the next, die Dame kommt hierher, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, it's Karen Luch from University of South Australia. What interests me is how you define benefit. So something came out in the reasons patients gave you why they may or may not participate in the future, which relates to benefit. But in your original question, was that just open, or did you give them certain options which they may have perceived as benefit?
Yeah, thank you for this question. So what we did in the questionnaire was, actually we had 2 parts where we asked about benefits. The first part was pretty much at the beginning of the questionnaire. So we did not state what benefit could look like. So anything a patient perceived as benefits, they would have said yes regarding my medication, or also regarding my health. And later on, we specified what or like what a benefit could be, like regarding whether they know better how to take their medication, whether they're better informed about their medicines, and so on. So we kind of drew their attention to what could be beneficial, but that we only did later on in the questionnaire. So what we wanted to get from the patients was kind of an unbiased answer. If they're asked, like, right off the bat, do you think you received or you had a benefit?
Which then, if you wanted to advertise or, virtually selling the benefits, leaves you a little bit in the lurch of knowing what patients may perceive as benefits.
Yeah, a little bit,
but we sort of individual.
We could supplement the answers from the initial question, whether they received or whether they felt they had a benefit, with questions which came later on in the questionnaire. So then I think you can get like more or a better insight into what the actual benefit for each patient was by looking at specific answers, which were not displayed here on the slides.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Are there any final questions for Robert? If not, then I would like to thank you once again for your very interesting work, and schönen Tag in Heidelberg. Good. Also, I think this brings us to the end of this session, unless there's somebody I've forgotten who would like to give a talk for 10 minutes. So I think, is it jetzt Pause oder we are all set?
Lunch. Please take the voucher and give it the green one today. And you can just go. The procedure is easy. You just say this, that, this, please. And you got what you want.
Yay.
And you have also
Perfect.
and
So,
read again
okay. Dann, bon appétit.